I told you get like a new intro. I told you
Who
get a new
has time
intro.
for a new intro these days?
Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah.
What's up, nerds?
We're for nerding in the Fanatic office audience. So, yep.
Irish Spring is a good thing. I actually did want to talk about something, but I totally forgot what it was. Oh, did you hear the news? Sam Wilson got that
What?
copyright.
No spoilers for which, Jake. No spoilers for which.
Yeah, dude, I'm in the process of having to move soon, man. I won't have time to see this movie.
Well, just so you know, Cryptid, on the official Twitter page, it's official. The copyright has been put.
Yeah. How the heck does Sam Wilson have the backings to go up against the government on a fisherman's salary? I gotta ask that.
Matt Murdock will do it for you, bro. Okay. Matt Murdock and She-Hulk together will find the means. Okay. You forget that was their people. Oh, well, it's really She-Hulk's people. Okay. And Matt is just a great lawyer. Together they can do it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure the Wakandans he met at the barbecue, since they're comfortable enough to give him like what 100 pounds worth of vibranium, they could squeeze him in for a couple of welfare funds.
I think they just saw the new Avengers, said, "Oh no, no, that's not happening."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of Dorme Elijah are looking at that US agent like, "Oh dang, yeah. Let's see round 2, audience. Let's see round 2. All right." So, yeah,
that's no, because even Bucky is cap level. Well, he's like roughly cap level, and even he was like, "Don't mess with the Dorme Elijah, Walker. You don't want to do that." Like,
it's also established that John Walker could more than handle against the Winter Soldier on a 2-on-1.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I do think. Well, I think Bucky's been inconsistent since he became a good guy. Because honestly, like, he used to be able to go toe to toe with Cap before Cap even knew it was Bucky, and then it became.
That's kind of a thing in comics where the bad guy goes to good. They tend to have to get a little bit of a downgrade just for dramatic effect. Well, Bucky's case, because he's not as bloodlusted as he used to, he kind of has to hold back a bit. But I would argue that in this version, whatever, Bucky has that vibranium arm, which is something he never got in the comics. So he's as strong as he's ever been. Let's put it that way. All right.
I suppose so.
Yeah. So that balances it all out. So yeah, audience. So you guys just want to get started? Oh, we just lost Jake.
Yeah, well, it sucks to be him. Let's get started.
Okay, now Jake's back.
Oh, which if I did that to you, you would crash out. I would not do that.
I was kidding. I'm reading the Marvel Mangaverse. I can only handle so much bullshit at one time, okay?
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to Comic Academy Live, the news and reviews of the week, audience. You're here with me, Cryptid Seeker 415, here to bring you a fantastical review before we head to some doom later. That's an intro.
And you're with me, Jake Tylenol here, and I'm Jake Tylenol. I'm here to say, no slandering the Black Widow today. Hey,
Austin is currently dead. Just kidding. We just sent him to the Marvel Mangaverse for a couple days. He'll be back next week. Trust me, it's okay. He's fine. Anyways, I'm Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim, pronouns they, he, and I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I could have been reading the Noir universe, but I chose the Marvel Mangaverse. Mm-hmm. And why does Iron Man have titties on the suit?
We'll get to it when we get to it.
And together we form the Phanatics, and we talk about the news and reviews of the week. And on our special Tuesday nights, we talk about the comic news. And we have a return of the month. That's right. Sonic of IDW Universe is coming back with issue 78. Ooh, the Fantastic Four are getting bent, or should I say gender bent, maybe, in our upcoming issue. Avengers Academy returns, and Bionicle returns this week, but not in the way you think. Okay, so all that and more this week on Fanatic Night Reviews. Okay. We also have some social medias for you today. Twitters, and more Twitters.
Yeah, just all Twitter.
All Twitters.
Which you should first subscribe to us because we're almost at 100 subscribbles. And if you want to be so kind, please do that because I will bring Austin back from the Mangaverse to come get you if you don't. Trust. You can also follow us on Twitter at Comic Phanatics 69 so that you guys can click the links on the thing so that you guys can prepare for tonight's live because that's what we do.
Mhm.
Anyways, if you don't want to follow the whole squad and you just want to follow little old me, you can follow me on my Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U because why not? Anyways, you can also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch at Witch of Jotunheim, but with 2 underscores in between. You can figure out where they go because I'm not saying anything. You can also find me on Tumblr and Blue Sky at Northstar Aria because I wanted to be different that time around. And you can also follow me on Rednote / Xiaohong Shu at Witch of Jotun with a U this time. And if you want to be so kind and buy me a coffee, you can donate to me at my coffee account at Witch of Jotunheim. It's spelled exactly how you think it's spelled. Anyways, like I said, Austin's not here. I sent him to another universe for a break. Cryptid's in the same spot as always, and Jake, where are you?
Well, I'm watching Kit be a creepy like stalker kid guy, but yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
He's being you know what he is? He's being a simp. Kit's Tatsuki or whatever he is. Tanuki. That Kit Tanuki, whatever his name is, he's being a massive simp for his glorious queen Surge the Tenric. Okay.
Also,
God
in the
damn.
Marvel Mangaverse, we have a female Tony Stark.
Mhm.
So just so that you know, in this universe, don't ask too many
There we
questions
go.
you don't want the answers to. It's not the artist is not
Exactly.
good. Oh, but we do get
Exactly.
white man Nick Fury if that makes you feel better.
the OG himself. So, alrighty then, guys. I guess without further ado, we should get to the comics of the night. So let's start us off. Let's start off with something fantastical, like Fantastic Four, issue number 31. Or in this case, the Fantastic Two.
The
Because why
Fantastic
not?
Two of them.
Yeah. I remember how we saw this cover and we were all kind of a little hyped because you remember Doom's whole thing. He wants to make the world in his image. He first started off with making making the Avengers in his own image, right? So when we saw this cover, we're like, okay, so now this is him trying to make the Fantastic Four the way he will want it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then what's with the gender bent read? Victor, is there something you want to say, dude?
That's what he wants. That's what he wants. Okay.
Well, that's not what we're getting, Jay, because apparently this cover is misleading. We do not get a gender bent Reed, and we do not get a gender bent Sue.
Well, Reed
Disappointment.
Well, you see that Reed Richards is a liar, so it stands true that his comic would also lie as well. So
dang it! And I was looking forward to seeing Renee Any Size Richards, which that's not so wrong when I think about it. So,
that crumbling paper is really getting its screen time in, huh?
There you go. But anyway, so we're not getting the gender bent counterparts. So what are we getting, audience? Well, we're getting a retelling of apparently something happened 24 hours ahead of time. So we're kind of jumping back a day before the events of the present, right? Which is being narrated by Valeria. So you're wondering, okay, what's going on? And it starts off with Ben Grimm, coming back home to his wife, and they're like talking about how they could possibly get Ben back to being the Thing. Since, hey, even though Doom turned him back to normal, I mean, he never does anything for free. Let's put it that way, audience. There's always going to be a catch.
But I didn't ask you to do that.
Yeah, well, here's a catch, Jake, because in the midst of all of them trying to stop a monster from, attacking New York, this and that, right? Johnny loses his powers, and I didn't read Chip Zdarsky's Human Torch thing 2-in-1, but apparently in there it kind of establishes that yes, if one member of the Fantastic Four, since they all got their powers at the same time, right? If one of them gets their powers altered, in that case, that'll affect them all. And
That
seeing it,
Sid's fucking win. I don't
hey,
think that would track.
and because Ben Grimm no longer has his power, that's actually affecting the other three here.
I'm pretty
They're,
sure there was a period of time where Ben didn't have his powers, and that's how She-Hulk joined the team. And
yes,
then,
I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, too.
yeah, that doesn't really track.
Doesn't track. But now here's the other flip side to that coin. So you're telling me that if you want Ben Grimm to be back to normal, in that case, all three members have to give up their powers.
So what I'm hearing is that Reed has to be a selfless human being, okay, for once in his fucking life, and make the grand sacrifice, okay?
Make the grand sacrifice of his any size nickname, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Come
Listen,
on.
if you give up all that to help me live my life, bro, you are my best friend for life. All right. There's nothing you can do that would hurt me, bro. Okay.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that, audience. So anyway, so yeah. Johnny tries to put on a performance to the public because he did flame off in the midst of fighting, but he's like, well, yeah. The villains always fall for that. Oh, flame off trick. So yeah, we defeated the bad guy at the end of the day anyway. So this is when all of them come together for family dinner, and they really have to start wondering how are they going to fix this little Ben problem, right? They're thinking, you know what? Why don't we just go back in time and put Ben into that same scenario where all y'all got your, hit by that cosmic rays? But they're like, but then they realize, okay, we don't want to tamper with the time space continuum and that stuff. And this is where Franklin actually comes up with an idea. Well, why don't we just go to another universe at the timing of that happening, So yeah, if anything were to change, I mean, hey, that will just make that an alternate universe at the end of the day.
How about we just say fuck over that? You see how the son of Reed Richards is okay with fucking over someone else's timeline? Okay, I'm just like this is
not just that, but even Valeria comes in and just does the science behind all this, the navigation, and like, yeah, this can actually work. This could be for the best,
Reed Richards should not be able to raise children. Okay.
Wow, you're saying his spawn should be cleansed from the face of the earth, is what you're telling me, Jake.
I'm saying that these kids had a bad childhood growing up, and I'll be there for them. Okay. What's going on?
You'll be their daddy.
I want to be. Listen. Doom is going to take custody of the kids because he's just a better father, and I'm just gonna babysit them on the weekends. Okay, that's what's going to happen.
You want to babysit the kids on the weekends?
On the weekends, just to help Doom so he can go back to his regular agenda of screwing over Reed.
Okay.
Gotcha. So anyway, they try out this plan, audience. So they go to a different universe, and here you go. As the four people from that universe are getting hit with cosmic radiation, they sneak in Ben, since Invisible Woman uses her power to make them all invisible. So yeah, nobody notices them, right? And he gets hit by the rays, and guess what? Nothing happens.
Yeah, he dies. Those aren't meant for him. Fuck you.
Not just that, man. Like he doesn't get affected at all. And they're like, well, maybe I guess just something is off with this universe's cosmic rays or whatever. Because the four other people, things just go as normal. They get their powers, they crash land on Earth, this and that. So they're like, okay, well, let's try this again. So over and over and over again, they're going from universe to universe to universe, just gamma bombing on steroids Ben with these cosmic rays.
Ben, don't you understand? I didn't just take away your powers. I took away the ability for you to have powers. You're welcome. Fuck you.
Again, audience, Ben, I don't want to hear for the next decade at least that you hold this against Reed from now on. This is just the lengths you're getting to having Ben go back to being the Thing is just, god dang it, dude. In every universe, right? I don't know if this is part of his involvement, but a lot of them are starting to have different effects because of this mysterious fifth person who's getting a dose with the gamma ray with the cosmic rays. Dude, there's a universe, right, Jake, where the Ben Grimm of that universe kind of has like a Quasimodo thing going on, where part of his body turns into the thing, but other parts of his body is still Ben, is still human.
And that's also something that this dumbass Reed should be asking. Like the cosmic rays might be different in other timelines. You don't know how it's gonna affect Ben.
Yeah.
It's not the same rays. And also, you keep doing this, you're just exposing him to more radiation. Like that's gonna fucking kill him. Fucking idiot.
This kind of reminds me of back when Superman lost his powers, and like their idea was, okay, you lost your powers, let's just put you in a chamber full of kryptonite, because hey, now all that kryptonite's bound to kickstart your powers, Like, really? Like, that,
Yeah,
that's still radiation at the end of the day. You know that,
that's
right?
okay.
Between kryptonite and cosmic rays, like, god dang, dude.
That's okay. They do better. Okay.
Gotcha. I mean, heck, you've had this one universe, right? Where Sue Storm, she forever remains invisible. Like, oh damn. Wow.
Hmm.
Makes sense. Okay, now that I'm looking at the book, yes, we do get one panel of the gender bent counterparts. We do get at least a Renee Richards here, so that's something. But then we have another universe where it turns out it was the Skrulls that became the Fantastic Four, and there's another universe where they do get their powers, but because of Ben's interference, they all become shark versions of themselves.
I mean, could be worse.
Yep.
You're lucky that Dinosaur Reed didn't grow to be like Sauron, because then instead of curing cancer, he would have turned people into dinosaurs.
Pretty much. There you go. Or he could have made everybody flexible as he is. Hey,
A bunch of lesbians?
Look at food for thought, audience. If
No, I did not hear you. Did you say lesbians?
No, a flexible.
Oh.
It's flexible as Reed. Yeah. Here's a question for y'all, audience. If everybody in the world could be considered any size, does that mean you're average then, by contrast?
Yes.
Yep, pretty much. So yeah. At this point, they're realizing, okay, maybe putting Ben like in the radius of the cosmic rays isn't going to do it. So let's go to this one universe, and we'll have Ben land directly in the center of the cosmic rays, right? So, there you go, audience. Like, he gets his powers because he takes up all the cosmic radiation in this scenario. But in doing so, the Fantastic Four of this universe don't get their powers.
That's okay. That's one less Reed in the multiverse. That's the one good thing Reed did for salvation of humanity.
Jake, turns out this wasn't a multiverse. This wasn't another universe. This apparently seems to be the past. Say it, Jake. Say it.
Damn it, Reed!
We need to make a soundboard where we have just Jake being like, Reed.
Valeria. Dang it, audience. I was really looking forward to seeing Jake being raging off against a female Richards, but this is just fine, I guess. Would Jake take it easy on a Renee Richards, I wonder? Like,
there you go, Renee Richards. There you go,
yeah.
Femme Reed.
Well, you know what? Maybe I would, because she was from the '60s, so she had to work against female stereotypes of that time period. Okay, she had to work harder to get where she's at. I have to respect it.
Okay, Jake. I see you giving praise to her right off the bat. I see.
Listen, she had to work harder for where she at. That's okay. All right.
Gotcha. But yeah, that's really how this book ends. And somehow something does end up happening to their ship. Like, you see like other rays coming in to wipe them out, and like they disappear. So yeah, there's definitely after effects to this, audience, and it looks like it's going to be up to Reed's daughter Valeria to save the day. So
it won't be the last time you hear about her.
I know, right? I was really expecting this book, out of all the tie-ins, to kind of be the most influential to One World Under Doom, because, hey, it's a Fantastic Four. If anybody's going to be in the front line to go up against Doom, it should be them. But, yeah, they're like, okay, we're off dealing with our own crap right now. So yeah, Doom, yeah, Doom, the whole world, you deal with Doom this time. Like damn. Oh man, I'm just looking at that picture. You're getting shot out with, dude. You must have gone through like 40 different doses of cosmic radiation, audience. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did not. No, either Ben has super strength. Either he's stronger than the Hulk, or he's cancerous and dying.
I know, right? So, yeah, yeah, is what it is. I'm sure we haven't heard the last of Richards.
Richards.
Yeah, so that's really it for this book, audience. So, yay. Let's move on.
Yes. Welcome back to his world, and by his world I mean Sonic's world. IDW Sonic the Hedgehog is back, and this time Sonic's not in this issue. We have Amy, Tails, Blaze the Cat, and our favorite anti-heroes, Surge the Tenric, and Kit. I don't remember what Kit is. It was something. I'll look it up while I'm talking. but
the fun of being live, audience. The fun of being live.
It's true. Yeah. So so basically, he's the Kit. No, that can't be it. Yeah, Kit Tsunami. Oh, he's a Fennec. His full name is Kit Tsunami the Fennec. There you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, So last time we left off, Sonic has gone off to go hunt down what happened to Clutch the opossum, and that's over there. We don't really give a shit about that. All right. Meanwhile, Amy, Blaze, and Tails are on the quest to see what happened to the rest of the restoration movement. The restoration is basically like, I wouldn't say shield, but like their primary purpose is to make sure that that the world gets repaired from any damages caused by Eggman terrorist attacks. And so so there's an organization looking out for you. Okay, this is damage control. Damage control.
Okay.
And so Eggman, so last our Clutch kind of destroyed the headquarters of the restoration movement out of spite. So Amy, Blaze, and Tails are on the quest to see how the if the main headquarters is broken, what about the rest of the world? How are their headquarters doing? We also get a cameo from everyone's favorite hateable background character. This is going to take some explaining, so bear with me. I want you to meet one of IDW's most hated characters. You guys ready for this shit?
Go ahead.
Background Monkey Man. I don't even think he has a name.
Oh man.
They're probably
Shameless audience. This right here. When I first look at this character, all I'm thinking of is shameless product promotion here. Shameless.
Product promotion for what? What are we promoting?
What? Just another character to just sell on stands.
Oh well, I mean, yeah. So IDW does this cool thing where like they have like a really cool like character designer on board, and sometimes the background characters become main characters. Like take Lanolin for instance. She was just a background character. She was a sheep, but everyone loved her design so much they said, you know what, we'll make her a main character in an arc someday. That's how tight these background design artists are, and I really appreciate them. But but you're probably asking like, why do we hate this Monkey Man? Well, way back in the zombie apocalypse storyline, which is canon to the story. Yes, that did happen.
Okay.
So this was back when Eggman did a thing called the Zombot arc. And so the Zombots work like if any organic matter touched another piece of organic matter, it would infect you and you would become a robot zombie, essentially. And
it has to be a robot zombie.
Robots, just we gotta keep it for the kids.
Dude, and here I was trying to think of a zombified Sonic, right? And all I could think about is, okay, the second he goes like 20 miles, his feet just snap because he's a decaying corpse.
Actually, Sonic was patient 1. There was a patient 0, and then Sonic got infected first. He was like the first person to be infected, and the only reason he didn't stay like a zombie was because he had the ability to run fast enough to burn off the infection, but that would wane as the arc went on. So by the time he got to the end of the arc, it was like, damn, like I'm getting tired. My body can't resist it as much as it used to be. Luckily, in the last minute, Sonic got the Chaos Emeralds and got a super form and it burned it off, and he could save the world with Silver and all that shit. So
it sounded like he sweated the virus out. I don't know if it works that way. But...
well, listen, when you have nanomachine stuff in your body, you could experiment, okay? But that doesn't explain why we hate this monkey. Okay, the reason we hate this monkey so much, there's an issue where everyone, okay, so the thing that made this arc so dreadful to go through is that every issue was a month apart, and every issue something bad would happen that was just out of the hero's control. It was frustrating to read. And so there was a moment when Amy got everyone into like a secure facility, all the survivors in a secure facility, all the survivors. So everybody was cool. It was just like the main cast and these survivors. And everyone was just kind of chilling and everything. And this monkey's just sitting there and he's like cold and everything. And this lady turns up, he's like, yeah, I'm from like I forgot what it was, like I'm from Green Hills or whatever, it was kind of rough up there, but things are looking better now that we're all together. He's like, yeah, we're together. And the girl looks at him, this monkey, this little fuckhead over here, and she's like, hey, are you okay? And he's like, I'm sorry, I just didn't want to be alone. And he turns into a zombie and infects everyone in the room. People were so mad at this guy. So
man, you gave us your cooties, your zombie cooties, dude. Your zombie
cooties. And he's the reason that I believe, I could be mistaken, he's the reason somebody that Cream the rabbit, the little 6-year-old rabbit, cared about. Someone in that room got infected and Cream cried about it, and it made even sadder. Okay, so it was the reason everything just kind of went wrong. So fuck this dude. Anyway, but now that we've seen him for the first time since that arc, and everyone's like, yeah, and he's like, what has he been up to? Well, he's been trying to work with the restoration and be a nice person. And I love how the whole family was like, no, fuck this dude. I hate this guy. This guy sucks. Fuck him. We're never forgiving him for what he did. But Amy doesn't even know that happened, to be fair. So none of the characters have a reason to be mad at him. The point is, the restoration movement seems to be going fine without the HQ, because the foundations of it was pretty strong. So the Amy, Blaze, and Tails can kind of go about their day. That is until they go to this starfish kind of aisle and they run into none other than Surge and Kit. So once again, for those who don't remember, Surge and Kit they were people who were kidnapped and brainwashed and tortured into being artificial copies of Sonic and Tails that work for a villain named Starline. They had their memories ripped away from them. They have only the need to kill Sonic and Tails. Or at least they used to. Now they want to kill them, but they also want to be good guys now. Now they want to be heroes. So now they saved the day once, and people are like, yeah, you guys are cool. And so just like, they love me. They really love me. So now Surge is like, I want to be a hero now. And if I see Sonic on the way, I'm going to kill him. So that's kind of where we are. And I like, and Kit, if we read like one of the annuals, Kit had this arc where he's like, I don't really care about this hero stuff, but Surge is my glorious queen. And I would do anything for Surge. And if Surge wants to be a hero, I'm going to make her a hero. And that's kind of his thing. If you catch where this is going, okay? Yeah. So Kit is basically what Starline thinks Tails is. Like Starline thought Tails was like a sycophant to Sonic, when actually it's like a co-partnership. But for Kit, Kit can't live without Surge's approval. Like he lives and dies by it, okay? And so Surge sees him as like a friend now. Before she just saw him as like a whatever, but now like they're cool. Anyway, so while they're at this place and Surge is like, this is boring because like I don't, there's nothing interesting happening. I wanted to save the day, but nobody's here. And Kit's like, don't worry, I'm sure something bad will happen soon. And sure enough, the whole island is sinking and shit. Everyone's like, yo, what the fuck? What's happening? And you notice
the second coming of Atlantis, audience, is what I'm hearing.
And if you actually notice, while all this shit's happening and everyone's panicking, if you look in the background, you could see Kit just still calmly sitting there drinking his coffee because he's the one who did it.
So, Kip gonna go out the way Kip lived,
Yeah. I do like this section too. We do get to see Blaze try to race Surge, because Surge hears the plan that Tails says, but she doesn't wait till Tails finishes explaining. So she tries to save the day prematurely and makes things worse. I like that, even though she's spiteful, even though she doesn't like Blaze like scolding her, she does realize that like, man, maybe I should have waited. I kind of blew my chance to be like a real hero. And then Tails does come up with a plan and gives everybody roles, but Surge is like, but the role you gave me won't let people see me be awesome. And Amy's like, oh my God, do you want to be a hero or do you just want to brag about it? And she's like, whatever, fine. And so they do wind up saving the day, working together. And even though, and I do like there's a moment too where Tails' plan is contingent on Kit doing the major lifting, and Kit's like, well, I don't want to save the day because then it makes Surge look bad, and I don't want to upstage Surge. So and then like sir, I do like this moment. Surge is like, listen, you and me, we're pals, we're a package deal. If you look good, I look good. If I look good, you look good. So I don't really care which one of us does it. Just somebody has to do it. Between it has to be one of us. It gets like, okay. And so but I do like how they do work together. And the whole group works together and saves the day. And then at the end, Surge is like, listen, if there's no crowd here to adore me, I'm out of here. I don't really give a shit. So Surge still has a long way to go. I don't know if she's really gonna stick being a hero because she seems too obsessed with wanting to be like, like the cool, like wanting the fame and attention. Which I do like too, as a contrast to Sonic. Sonic saves people just because he's just a nice guy, but like he doesn't really care about attention at all. But Surge does. Surge needs it, so I did like that parallel still gets to be kept. I also do like Kit. He's like, Kit's like Surge is like, dang, I ruined my chance to be a hero, and then Kit's like, don't worry, I'll make sure there's more. So I was like, oh my God, chill, bro. I think the thing I don't like about this issue is Blaze. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe I have to go back and play Sonic Rush or Rush Adventure. Blaze is a boring character in this issue. And I like her, like in the games, like I always like playing as her, and I liked her story. I think it was more interesting when she had things to learn about friendship and all this shit. But she is like, she has such a stick up her ass in this one. Like there was a point where Surge, even though Surge is in the wrong, and she's like, she snaps at Blade. She's like, "Oh my God, get that stick out of your ass and shut the fuck up." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm coming with Surge, Blaze. You're doing the most right now." It's like something about it. I think it requires a more nuanced understanding of the Blaze character. I don't really have the answers for whoever wrote this. I can't remember if it's Flynn or Stanley. I just know that me personally, I didn't enjoy reading Blaze this issue, and she's most of the issue. So that's really negatives. Art as usual is pretty good. I did like Amy in this issue. I think Amy still continues to be one of the best written characters in IDW. It's still like she's not her boy crazed self from like the old games, but I do appreciate, but she still is Amy, which is more than I could say for the games that she's been in recently. So
we like that. We like that though.
Yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, like every now and then they'll throw people a bone, and she'll see Sonic and she'll gush for a little bit. But most of her interactions are going to be like her being herself and her being independent of that. And I like that.
Be out of the norm by today's standards and have Amy gush over Sonic. Come on.
Well, she did in the last arc. There was like she did like give him like 2 romantic hugs in the last arc. Okay, that was like that's all you get. But but sometimes Amy's not going to be with Sonic. She's going to go off on her own and do her own thing, and that's going to be.
Keep in mind, a really popular Amy ship is between her and Shadow. So.
Ugh, I can't. Everyone says that because they had one interaction at the end of SA2, and it was.
Haven't you ever heard of a crack ship before? Not everything has a terrible ship.
It's a terrible ship. But listen, I would be remiss.
It's not that bad.
I would be remiss if I didn't say when I was 13 years old, I didn't read a Shidemi versus Sonami fanfic. Okay, I admit it. I read one. I was addicted to it, but I grew up. Okay, that's all I gotta say. So.
Audience, even if the 2 characters have never shared a panel together, people will still find a way to ship them.
Trust me, I've been in fandom spaces for about a decade, maybe a little more than a decade. I would know. I've even participated in those types of things.
I mean, for God's sakes, I've never seen people ship Hinata and Sasuke. I'm like, they've never shared one panel together, and 2. They technically would be considered cousins. Like,
I think the only thing Sasuke has canonically said to Hinata is like, "Hey, is Naruto home?" All right, bye.
Yeah, but that's enough for people to ship them. Like, really? So yeah. All right. So is that it for the book? Jake?
Yeah, that's it. I think Blaze just need better written. Oh, I will say, I think I think I just need Saturday morning cartoon villains in this book. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm kind of getting bored when it's not an arc. I kind of get bored with this overall book. I think we need more like Saturday morning cartoon villains for the Sonic cast. I'm not gonna lie to
Right.
you. So
Okay, so you want the villain of the week is what you're telling me, Jake.
I think it works better if you're gonna make this a monthly book. I think it just works better. I think waiting a month. I think the story is fine, but having to wait a month for it is just kind of like okay, you know what I mean? Like it's like we're not getting anything really all that new. And like I I would just like it more if like Amy fought like I don't know a wolf man this week. You know, understand? I just think the villains we have are boring. Surge isn't a villain. Kit is kind of a villain. Mimic is out there, but I think Mimic is going to be done after next issue. And
Mimic's a bitch.
Yes. And I love Eggman, especially when Ian Flynn writes him, because Ian Flynn writes Eggman like he is like the second coming of Satan. Okay, but like we can't do Eggman every week, so like I need more villains. So you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I was gonna make a reference, but I'm not gonna make my reference because I know how you guys are gonna read.
Gotcha. But yeah. All right.
We need a rogues gallery in the Sonic IDW universe.
We do. Yeah. We need a better rogues gallery. Okay.
Yeah. Just saying, audience, we found out Jake's version of Jar Jar Binks in the Sonic universe today. So
that fucking guy. Oh my god. Monkey Man. You know what? Make Monkey Man a villain. Make whatever that dude's name is. Make him a villain.
Make Eggman the apprentice to Monkey Man.
There you go.
So all right, then audience, I guess with that we should move on to the next book. So
hi guys. Hey sluts. How are y'all doing tonight?
Did you call me a fucking slut?
Yes, I called everyone a slut.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's fair. Anyways, I'm talking about Marvel Voices Avengers Academy 42, the end of history. Not history, it's actually history, but leave me alone. Anyway, so we start in the year 3125. We will all be dead by this point. Just letting you know, by that year we will not be doing this podcast. So sorry, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, right, Jake?
I mean, maybe you won't. I want to be an AI consciousness, okay?
Honestly, who knows what's gonna happen? I never said I wasn't immortal.
Right.
Anyway, so we start there. We start at this kind of school thing, right? We start at school in the future. Ooh. Anyways, so the teacher's talking about some stuff that happened in the past because it's a history class and everything. It talks about the atrocities of the 21st century, and like history doesn't end, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. We see Nathaniel over here bored out of his mind. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I've been to the past. All right. And the teacher also talks that that our cities were razed, libraries burned, blah 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 blah. But hey, they have a nice freaking little city type of things. But anyways, so the teacher's like, yes, Nathaniel Richards. And Nate's like, then couldn't someone like do something, force everyone to be good? Like with our technology, we could do it. And the teacher's like, that would be the ultimate tragedy and our greatest fear. And so like we cut to Kang literally ruling the world and everything like that because that's what Kang does. He tries to do this. He becomes a conqueror. Okay. So we cut over to a scene where Nathaniel gets stabbed in the titty by like a speared item. It happens sometimes. We cut to the Rainbow Room 6 months ago where you could click the first picture. Please be so kind to me and put the first picture. Thank you. We see Nathaniel die because we cannot win. He's like, we stopped him. I get to die a hero for once. Till next time, my beloved, and dies. And so we see this guy named Kristoff or whatever, right? Comfort Cassie because she's grieving. She's grieving over her dead boyfriend, which is like if you read Young Avengers, you know what it's all about. Anyway, so yeah, Nathaniel keeps his cloaking on because he doesn't want to actually like it's actually, you know. 5 years later, we cut to Cassie's and Kristoff's wedding. Did I put that as a cryptid? The wedding?
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know why is here because Doom was the reason for why Cassie died, and also Valeria's here. Yay, Jake! Valeria's here.
Oh, she got away from her abusive father. I see. Okay.
He's still here, so
Oh,
the only
don't worry,
person out
bro.
of the Fantastic Four family is Ben. He's the only one not there, but She-Hulk's here. Jennifer's here.
Don't worry, Valeria. Doom will protect you.
Oh no, wait, I forgot. Ben is officiating the wedding. I forgot.
Okay.
He's officiating the wedding. Anyway, so we cut to 5 years later, where we see the cover picture, which do not change the picture. Do not. Where they're part of their own Fantastic Four type thing. With Cassie and Kristoff are here, and then we have someone like a kid who kind of looks like Ultron, but kind of looks like has the powers of Spider-Man. And we have this other guy who looks like a mashup between Aaron and Akihiro for some reason. I don't know who the fuck that person is. I couldn't tell you who this person is, but I don't know. Not Akihiro, I can tell you that much, because he doesn't have that wrist claw. Hey Jake, how would you deal with life if you had a wrist claw?
A wrist claw. What does that look like? What do you mean, like a
Have
claw?
you've seen Akihiro, right?
No,
Logan's son.
no.
So basically, he has two claws coming out of his knuckles, right? And then he has one claw coming out of his wrist, but it's like kind of curved, but still like claw-like.
Okay. I'll
Yeah,
take a word for it.
just look up Dakin on Google, and then it will probably show you.
All right.
Yeah, look up Marvel and Dakin. Yeah, he has like the weird wrist claw thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so we cut to 5 years later, and we see Cassie doing some like a thing. You know, she's showing off this thing called liquid sunlight, which is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. It can be used for space travel, maybe clean power. It can change everything. So 5 years later, we cut to I'm assuming Latveria, where we see Cassie give birth to a healthy little baby child. And Valeria's there, you know, because I'm assuming being the ruler of Latveria. How do you feel about that, Jake?
Is Reed still alive?
I don't know. He's not here right now.
Well, then I don't know how I feel.
Okay. And so Valeria's like, the son of Christophe Bernard. Let's pray he gets his mother's brains, Cassandra. Anyways, so we cut to 35 years later. You know, we're not just going to keep going 5, 5, 5, 5s. We're going to go 35. So basically, Cassie is on her deathbed, you know, and she's saying goodbye to her husband, and she passes on. And guess who shows up? Can you go to the next picture, sure? The one with the black background. Can you go to the next picture? Cryptid? Jake?
Okay, I thought Crypto was gonna get it, but I guess it will be me.
Yeah! Anyway, so Nathaniel pulls up, and it's like, Bestie, you gotta learn how to move on soon. I know, like, this version of you is still pretty young, but, like, at one point you gotta move on, Bestie. But you know what? At least you got your goodbyes for the most part. But, like, Nathaniel's little robot homie is like, hey, Nathaniel, the chrono scans indicate the Avengers Academy kids have come back. You should let go. And Nate's like, I don't want to go though. My girlfriend, who's not really my girlfriend anymore because she's died. Anyways, we cut to present day. The whole squad comes back. Yay! From their adventures. You know, they're catching up. They're catching up on all that jazz and all this other stuff. You know how it be. Hey, Gabriel brought back a dog. Okay, that belonged to a witch that he liked. But it's also kind of his mom. I don't know yet. I still have not figured that out. I'll Google it later for you guys. Don't worry. Wink. Anyways, any whoosies. Don't worry. Even the faculty came back from their little fun adventures. 2 of them were in the 20s, and Carol was in ancient Egypt for some reason. Do you have any explanations for that, Jake?
They're in ancient Egypt?
Yeah, Carol Danvers was in ancient Egypt, and she dethroned Apocalypse and his legion of mummies.
I guess it was a time travel adventure I wasn't there for, I guess.
Yeah, no, we didn't get that issue, unfortunately. But she looks great, though. I like her outfit. Anyways, so going back to it. So Justin is pissed off. Okay, you might be wondering, what is my sweet baby boy Justin Jin doing? Why is he so angry? Well, he goes up to Nathaniel and he's like, Kid Immortus, you did this. And Aaron's like, oh my God, just Justin, chill. Like, this is not your thing, man. And so basically Justin's like, you sent us back and you made us watch, made us a part of it. I literally saw my grandfather suffer. He suffered for a decade for us. And I had to watch it. How fucking could you? And Nathaniel's like, because I had to. People make their own choices. And all this other stuff. He goes on this whole thing. And then he Justin drops him, and Nathaniel's like, I will not be a conqueror, head in his hands. You know how it would be. We literally saw something similar to this in Young Avengers, which everyone who watches this, go read Young Avengers by Alan Heinberg and Jim Chung. It came out in 2005. You can read it. Okay? Especially you MCU fans. I'm watching you. Jake, mark my words. I will come after the MCU stands.
All right.
Exactly. My point stands. Anyways. So, Justin calms down a little bit. He takes off, he magically takes off his helmet, the one. And he's like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. And Aaron's like, yeah, buddy, that was new. Anyways, so, Normie was like, do you guys, hear sirens? Or something? Oh, yeah, you can switch to the next picture, by the way.
Who's doing it? Is it me? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically, they hear sirens. They go into the TV room where we're watching a news thing where the newscaster is like, okay, you are just tuning in. The government of the United States has made an appearance, and the U.S. has joined several nations in pledging allegiance to the dictator of Liberia and self-declared quote-unquote sorcerer supreme Victor Von Doom, which, depending on who is in charge at this very point in time, would make a lot of sense or would make no sense. But we're not getting into that today. Anyway, so yeah, we see the whole crew who magically just quickly changed their clothes. I don't know how they did that, but I don't know what the time between them all getting back, Justin trying to freaking off Immortus to this specific point, I don't know. But they're in regular clothes now. Anyway, so we see our lovely newscaster Marcus. He's like, oh, a tyrant now rules this nation. Countries around the globe have surrendered to the totalitarianism that many of their citizens once died to reject, both overseas and at home. I'm sorry, everyone. America has fallen. And basically we see the White House with a Latveria Dr. Doom flag. And so basically it ends with Marcus saying, God help us all. And that's where it ends. Next time, Defiance. So I better see some fuck shit happening. Which, guess what, audience? We will see some fuck shit happen pretty soon. Right, Cryptid? Cryptid, you can respond to this now. I'll finish with the
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Having tech issues here, audience.
You
So, yeah. Okay. All right, then. I guess with that, we should probably move on to the next book, audience. So, next book we're talking about.
Yeah, that's my question, but
Doom
okay.
Divisions. Yep.
Oh,
Doom
well,
Division.
speaking of fuck shit, Doom's Division number 2. We're gonna let Cryptid take partial control of this because I only read this once. I was supposed to read it last night, but I forgot to. But I read it today, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Anyways,
how dare we have lives in our personal time, right, audience?
Yeah, God forbid I have a job and other stuff to worry about.
Gotcha. Anyway,
so cut over to the ocean. off
Mhm.
of Hokkaido, Japan. Which, if you don't know where Hokkaido is, it's that little big island thing on top, like on top of the main island of Japan. You know the one. It's kind of weirdly
Yep.
shaped. It's not banana shaped. It's the one up top. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we see Wave and we see Mr. Enigma, and they just got there, and they're hanging out by the ocean, and we also see this like weird freaking shark thing with hard eyes with like a sunfire symbol on it, and then we cut to Teguki and Karma, and they're also riding the waves. Well, one of them's riding the waves, one of them is flying because
Yep.
Teguki doesn't want to have fun and ride the waves, right, Cryptid?
I know, right? Somebody has to be like the straight edge Boy Scout after all, that's Taguki,
Boo! Be fun. Anyways,
He's
we also cut to Arrow. We cut to Gunnar. Gunnar? I don't know how you pronounce that. The second. That's what I'm calling him.
yeah.
And the general. They're in a bubble underground because why not? And they see two bright lights and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" So, anyways, we cut
Mhm.
back to Karma and Teguki, and they're flying, and we see giant tentacles. They kind of look the giant mechanical tentacles, which
Wow.
is someone's fetish, honestly, right?
Oh yeah.
Am I
Of
wrong?
all Yeah, audience of all the time for Marvel to have like giant tentacles pop up in the book, it just happened to coincidentally be on Doom's Division. I wonder why. You know?
Hmm. Anyways,
Yeah.
so
What?
we cut to Seoul, which I have been to. Fun fact.
Hmm.
Anyways, we see Lady Bright. She's walking out in the rain. She's feeding a little birdie. She goes to talk to Director Han, who we learn is White Fox.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, what happened to her white hair? I don't know. She probably dyed it. Who knows? Just
Yeah.
kidding. I don't know actually. Anyways, so yeah, she's talking to her real quick, and then Lady Bright is walking, and we see this old person. I can't tell if it's an Ajima or not, but an older person. That's all you gotta know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we cut over to Luna Snow practicing her new song, a new performance and everything like that. But guess who shows up? Lady Bright. She's
Yeah.
here. She's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I know things have been tense. So why did you decide to leave?" No, wait, that was Luna. I meant not
Yeah.
Lady Bright. Luna asked
Yeah.
Lady Bright that.
Yeah, because audience, Luna Snow's upper people are trying to pressure her into doing a music video for Doom, even though she's really against that. You know,
You can literally see the one song lyric we got here. It says "One world, one crown." I
bring
was
the
like,
haters down. Yep.
okay, dude. I don't know you wrote this,
Yeah,
but no, like, lady, like, fuck you, dude. I hate you. No matter what White Teguki say, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, he
Hmm.
wouldn't be the first tyrant to start his first to start his rule with sweet promises. I mean, that's how all tyrants go. Okay, we all know.
Hmm.
Anyways, so we cut back to the action where we see Karma and Teguki having to fight the weird tentacle robot monster.
Who has bright pink heart eyes right now, audience,
With
with its
in the
tentacles
middle
moving.
of it has a Sunfire logo, which if it was purple, I would have believed that it was Psylocke.
Yeah,
It
I'm
kind of
just
looks
gonna
like her symbol though, like her butterfly thing that she has around her eyes sometimes.
I know, right? But I'm just getting like some foreshadowing here in my mind when I was reading this. Okay, so you have a weird tentacle monster with hard eyes on, right in front of Karma. I wonder where this is going. So
No,
yeah.
she's a lesbian character. They wouldn't do that to her.
So
She's
go
cool.
ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, so Teguki starts fighting it and blasts right through it, as he does. He's super strong for a reason.
Yep.
Karma is impressed because, why not? I was going to say Karma's a bitch. I should have known better, but that wouldn't have
Hmm.
worked here. So I'll try to use that for another time, okay?
Yep.
Anyways, so Teguki's like, well, we have to hurry and find Sunfire's base. Like, there's no chance that these bots haven't reported back to him. Let's get going. Anyways,
Mhm.
so we cut to Arrow and Mr. Enigma, not Arrow, Wave and Mr. Enigma,
Yeah.
and they have to fight the weird shark robot things.
Yep.
As you do. But there's also weird piranha robot things that the others have to fight. Ooh. And I don't care about Imperial right now. This is not important.
Yep.
Anyway, so it cut back into Seoul, and we see Lady Bright walking around, and we find a whole group of people protesting. Do you want to show the picture?
Yep. Let me show the first one. Well, you want me to show the first picture of the past or the present?
No. Show the picture of the skull with the X on it.
Okay, gotcha.
You asked me for it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
So we see that a lot of people protesting outside of what I can assume is the Capitol building.
Yeah, I kind of like I kind of like the artistry, the artistry that went in here, because these are all people wear different color clothes, organized themselves to kind of make this this wide angle.
Creative,
sort of
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: if you know anything about Korean history, even a little bit, you would know they've dealt with a lot of imperialism bullshit, colonialism, and other really shitty stuff because of other people's governments. And no matter so you can show the next picture with the whole shot.
Did you right there?
Yeah, that one. So we start off and it says right here in the narration box, like, the shoes change, the fashions change, the governments change, but the outcome always ends the same. Where we do see bloodshed, but sometimes bloodshed is needed to get the freedom from all that bullshit. Let's keep in mind, if you guys didn't know, Japan basically colonized Korea for a very long time. Not like as long as other colonial states have, but they definitely did colonize Korea for a while. And then after that, after World War II, Korea had to deal with both Soviet, Chinese, and American influences, which was not good. So that's why the Korean War, which is called something different, went down, and that war still has not ended yet. Fun fact, besties. And then we also had to deal with a military dictatorship after that war in South Korea, which was not fun either. Fun fact. I actually kind of looked into this. I'm not fully getting into it today, but bother me on TikTok. I'll probably make a whole video about it. Anyways, so Lady Bright was about to defend the people. She has basically a card, like a playing card from a Korean game. I don't remember what it's actually called, but I have tried to play it one time. Still don't know how to play it. But she charges it up Gambit style. And we see this cop go up to this one protester, and he puts his gun down in front of the guy, right? And the police guy is like, "Oh, Mr. Cho, you used to be riot police, right?" And the guy's like, "So what? Think that invalidates our cause? Fuck you." And the other guy's like, "Hey, we've all done things we're not proud of. Please share your grievances. We can address them together." And Lady Bright's like, "What the hell? What the hell is this?" Anyway, so Lady Bright leaves after the protest ends for the day, And we see this Ajima. Definitely an Ajima. Basically, she goes by the the subway station. She goes by this pillar thing, and she grabs her phone, and we see a couple text messages. One of them is subject is likely continuing investigations, and Director Han replies, "Keep tracking subject, don't let yourself be seen." She's an Ajima. She's gonna be seen. She's an old lady. They're always like, "Can you help me out?" And it's like, okay. I mean, I guess it should have been, don't draw too much attention to yourself. Don't make yourself look suspicious.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we cut to this random facility off of Hokkaido. Remember, we were talking about that earlier. And we see the girlies, and we see one and the rest of the squad pull up, and they're kind of walking around. Teguki's like, "Where's Sunfire?" And all this other stuff. And he's like, "I'm gonna go call HQ." So he goes outside and calls HQ. And we see a giant whoosh of water. And we all know what that means if you have a giant whoosh of water. Just kidding. Teguki gets caught in there and all this other stuff. And we see someone using their powers against Teguki to make it look, kind of drown him, not gonna lie. But he's fine. Don't worry about him. And so before Mr. Enigma is able to help him out, Karma stops him. Karma's a bitch. I should have known better.
I see what you did
I
there.
should have
With
never
Karma's
messed
a
around.
bitch.
There
I
you
see what
go.
you did
You
there
got
when
to
you
use
said
a JoJo Siwa reference. Anyways,
when you said Karma's a bitch. I saw what you did there.
Karma's a bitch. I should have known better.
Put
So
that
far,
on a shirt, dude.
someone probably already did. Not gonna lie. Anyways,
Yeah.
we cut to the next page, which we see Mr. Enigma. He's on the ground. He's like, you've been working for Sunfire all along. We finally see Sunfire after God knows how long. Welcome back, bro. It's been a while.
Mhm.
And that's where the issue ends. They were double agents the entire time. The girlies were double agents, which I kind of expected was going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I'm just really surprised that, like, for being their version of Superman with regards to Taguchi, right? All it took to beat him was a wave of water. Like, really?
Whoosh. No, it wasn't just a wave of water. It was a whoosh of water.
A whoosh of water.
There's a difference.
So, like,
Funny enough, I actually work at a place that's called Taguchi.
Oh, there you go. So,
by the way, my Harmony she was like, oh my god, you're working at a Korean barbecue place. Oh my god, she does that like grandma thing. She does that Korean grandma thing. She was like, oh, who would have thought? And I was like, Grandma, you work like Harmony, you work at an Asian spot too.
Yep.
Just not a Korean spot.
Well, audience, even more reason for why we want to see Taguchi make his MCU debut one of these days.
I don't want that anytime soon, Bestie, because I do not trust the MCU to properly adapt him. But here's the funny thing. You want to know a funny thing? So I did some Google. I went down a rabbit hole a while ago, and fun fact: Jimmy Woo, like leader of the Agents of Atlas or whatever, so he's Chinese, right? Or like around that, And so I think it's funny that he was played by a Korean man.
Oh. There you go.
Reparations.
Remember, audience, in the comics, Jimmy Woo is described as being like the Asian James Bond, but in the MCU,
also he debuted in the 50s. Did you know that?
Oh, didn't know that.
He is. I don't remember exactly what year, but depending on the year, he's either a Golden Age hero, like a later on Golden Age hero, or he's a newer Silver Age hero, like a.
Wow. There you go. There
fun fact. I went down that rabbit hole on the Marvel Wiki one year.
There you go, audience.
I get bored sometimes and I go down rabbit holes, okay? Literally, audience, before we even started this, me and Cryptid, mostly me, we're trying to look up if there were any versions of Sue Storm and Reed Richards that were gender bent.
Yeah.
That's my answer to that.
There you go. There you go. So
in the Marvel manga verse, we have a female Johnny Storm.
Hey.
And Reed Richards, Jake, is still a bitch. Like, stop sleeping around with everyone in your department. And Sue Storm, her name is spelled different. Like, it's do you know the band Susie and the Banshees?
Yes.
So her name is spelled like that, like Sue.
Yeah.
Like Souix, I think that's how you pronounce it. Like, spell it.
Right.
So yeah, fun fact.
Cool.
Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the Marvel manga verse, and you guys can move on.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a good issue, audience. It's keeping up a good momentum. So, all right then. I guess with that, we should probably move on to the next topic. So,
tonight we need a team of heroes for this one. Okay. So unfortunately, I said this before. I love the Toei Nika's designs, and as a kid, they had one of their. This team has two different trailers for the two different toy lines, and both of them are the greatest trailers in all Bionicle history. But neither of them led to a Bionicle movie about this team. Okay, I don't know.
Wow.
And so people were told, and Lego came on to, don't worry, we got you. We heard you really like this team. We really heard you really liked our trailers. We heard they were cinematic as fuck. We heard you. So we're gonna give you a video game about them. And we're like, oh, yes, please. Thank you. Lego, our Lord and Savior. And we got Bionicle Heroes. This is a game that basically takes place during the events of the book that I have been reviewing weekly, where the Tohig Nika have washed ashore the islands of Oyanui, and they have been told that, hey, some dickheads called the Paraka took over, and they have enslaved all the Matoran. We need your help fighting them back, and you get to play as the Tohig Nika fighting them all. Except you're not playing as the Tohig Nika. It's instead you're playing as one man with the powers of all the Toei Nika, which I think is lame as shit. It would be like if the first Avengers game, you didn't play as Iron, you didn't play as like the Avengers team. You played as one man who kept using the powers of the Avengers.
Hey. So basically Sujinko of this universe then, what you tell me.
Yes. And I'm not saying, and this doesn't have any story relevance. It's just that it's like you're not a character. You're just whatever you want to be, I guess. So basically you have to go through different levels of the different that take place on different parts of the island of Oyanui in this this third person shooter game, which was a weird choice for Bionicle. You go across the island, you shoot up a bunch of bad guys. Each level will follow the exact same formula as the last. You'll be fighting. What I like about this game too is if you know your Bionicle history, this game isn't canon. Okay, but it does incorporate all parts of Bionicle history. You'll be fighting the Bohrok. You'll be fighting the Visorak, the Rakshi, all the Rahi, all the villains that I've talked about up to this point in the series, and of course leading up to the Paraka. I think that's also it's both a blessing and a curse because again, if you just wanted to play the story of the Toei Nika, well, you're not getting that here. So, another thing you're not going to get is this is kind of why I didn't really have a good thought about the Baraka when I first started this. This game is made by the same people who make your Lego Star Wars games. They've made the same studio who makes all the Lego Indiana Jones games. And if you know those games, you know that the story modes are not serious at all. Right? Like you play Lego Indiana Jones, it's basically like a parody of the actual movie. You know what I'm saying? And don't let this badass box art cover fool you. The Paraka are fucking jokes in this game. And I mean like embarrassingly so. This is where I kind of thought the Parakas were a bunch of dickhead assholes. When I first learned that they beat the Toa Nuva, I said, not these idiots. They didn't lose to these idiots, did they? No, it's fucking lame. Now, of course, reading the book, I have a newfound appreciation for them and all that. That's kind of cool and all. But I'll tell you how badly this ruined my perception of the Paraka. In the game, once you beat a Paraka, so like each section of the island has its own Paraka you have to beat. And once you beat that Paraka, you have the ability to go to the store and purchase that Paraka. And there is a zoo on the other side of the island. And on this side of the island, in this zoo, you can basically humiliate the Paraka and make them look like fucking dipshits.
Damn.
It was like that. And as a kid, even as a kid, I was like, this is kind of sad.
Yeah.
I mean, like I still collected all the animations anyway, but so, and I think this is what made me really not like the Paraka as a whole. As far as the gameplay is concerned, like I said, it's very repetitive, but as a kid, I found it very rewarding. I think I need to take breaks though, because literally once you play like one set of levels, you've kind of played the whole game, really. The only thing that really changes is that you get different Toa powers. So if you look at the bottom screen right there, you might see 3 Toa masks. These are Toa masks of Kongu, Huki, and Gali. At the start of the game, you only kind of get a couple masks to work with. As the game goes on, you will unlock the rest of them. But each mask has its own mask power, which isn't really the same as the ones in the story. Another thing that's weird, like the mask powers you get aren't going to be the same as the ones in the book, but they are going to be reasons for you to replay levels and maybe go down different routes and try the things. So there's a replayability element to the game. And if you look at the top of the screen, you see that little gold meter there. Once you get that gold meter completely full, your Toa will turn into a golden armor Toa, and you are basically invincible until that meter runs out. It's pretty cool shit. So for like baby's first Gears of War, it was pretty enjoyable. The collectibles are very expansive. I remember as a kid just spending hours just trying to unlock everything on the fucking Matoran Enclave. I think also having the more you unlock, the more you can like upgrade the look of the Matoran Enclave, and so basically it makes it look nicer, it makes it more homey and everything. But I just like and I like it's such a shame. I enjoy the game as a kid. I don't think I can recommend it as an adult. It's just too repetitive. I played this both on a console and both on my PC. I think it's just a shame because it's the only representation that Toa Ignika got outside of the books. And it's not like I really just kind of want to play the fucking story of the book. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I would have to give this as a game. I would have to give it a 5 out of 10. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like it's good for like if you're a Bionicle enthusiast, I recommend at least giving this game a try. I think just being into the Bionicle world and seeing all the references that the game packs in, even though all the references are out of context and the characters don't act the way they should in the books, which I think that's the other thing. It would be like, oh my god, it would be like again, you play the Avengers game. And instead of MODOK being like a competent, like no. And then you play the Avengers game, and like Abomination was like a parody of himself. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
man.
it's like
Yeah.
the game might be fun to play, but do you want to see your favorite villain just kind of be like a little loser? You know what I mean? I mean, even seeing the Borok, I had no idea how cool the Borok were in the books. So now, even looking back at the game with that context, it's like, damn, I kind of wish I would have gotten that Borok swarm or Borakel thing. Eventually, you do get to the final boss of the game, which is also the final villain of the book, which we have not met yet in the book. But that boss fight was kind of cool. The boss fights are also simple enough for like a child to understand as well. So I'm sure as an adult, this is not gonna be as fun or engaging as all. I do remember getting like headaches playing it too, just because of the repetitious nature of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a solid enough game. I just really wish it was lore accurate because then I could enjoy it more. And I think it would be a better entry point for people. I think that's the other. I think that's where it is. It's because it's not a good representation of the Bionicle universe. It's hard to recommend a new person to play this game because even though it is a competent enough game, it does nothing to make you want to get into what Bionicle is. You know what I'm saying? That's really my issue with it. And I think at the end of the day, that's a damn shame because this was such a missed opportunity. But Bionicle Heroes, if you really want to play it, there's emulators where you can play it. Of course, I use my fucking Jesus Christ, I have RetroArch. I use RetroArch to play this game. Try it out if you just want to be a part of the Bionicle lore. But I people might shit on me for this. I think the Mask of Light video game is a lot better, and I will review that when I get a chance. But I think that's a lot better of a representation for Bionicle than whatever this is. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any final thoughts on this before we move on to the last book, Jake?
Don't let what happened here happen to your favorite franchise. Okay.
Sure. Don't live to see your characters be a parody of themselves, audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not if that's their only representation. Like if we had a bunch of Bionicle Toa Ignika stuff, I would not care. But this is like the only representation the Ignika could get. So
Gotcha. So anyway, audience, I guess with that, let's move on to the last book of the night. And we're talking about the TVA Time Variant Authority number 5, audience. So this is the finale to this mini-series. And yeah, in case you need a recap, somebody's going around in the multiverse infecting their dreams, their minds. We get the MCU Scarlet Witch in this book that caused quite commotion when she popped up a couple issues ago. But in this book, it does clarify that this is a variant of that version.
Specifically, but there can't be a variant of the Scarlet Witch. There's only one Scarlet Witch in the multiverse.
Well, it turns out they did some fiddling around. So this is a version of Scarlet Witch that was pulled from the timeline before she got killed in Doctor Strange 2. Like, Jake, they literally mention everything she's gone through. Everything from her brother getting shot by bullets in Sokovia to her joining the Avengers to her death, to her quote unquote death in Doctor Strange 2. Yes.
But there can only be one Scarlet Witch in the multiverse.
Well, apparently there are two now. Rules were made to be broken in this, Jake. So yeah. So anyway, we come to find out that it was actually Nightmare who's the main villain this run, and really he's after hearing the stories of Scarlet Witch, he's like, man, she is the stuff of nightmares. I have to have her. Like, dang. Yeah, he watched Doctor Strange 2 audience. He knows what this woman has done. So yeah, she's Nightmare has been breaking into TVA to, get Wanda to be part of his group. Together they could really raise a Nightmare towards the multiverse. So dang. But upon freeing Wanda, she's like, "You're going to use me just like everybody else does." So the fight breaks out between the two. And throughout this whole series, right, audience, there's this one character here named Ingrid. Let me be sure I got her name right. Yeah, Ingrid. I really didn't know who she was. For lack of a better term, she was just a blonde white woman wearing a white suit. And I can think of several characters in Marvel who already have that sort of characteristic, So that's not really helping me in finding out who she is. Yeah, it turns out she is the daughter of Nightmare. Let me bring her up. There she is on the left.
All right.
I could think of several people who a certain amount of people who wouldn't consider her a nightmare, but that's just me. So yeah.
Yeah, well, some people would say she's a dream.
exactly. So anyway, you come to find out that she's pissed off because, dude, I've been doing this undercover assignment to get into TVA for a long time now because there's a lot of dark stuff here, and I just wanted to get my hands on it by playing the long game, coming in as an agent, learning how to use a copier, getting their trust, and here you come, Dad, just guns blazing and ruining my whole undercover op, basically. Like, and you come to find out that she was actually the one that stabbed Morbius a couple issues ago because she wanted the whole group to kind of focus on like the mystery as opposed to like her trying to stop her dad from blowing her cover. So like, dang. Okay, so anyway, the fight commences, and she was in the TVA long enough really to know some of the assets and creatures that walk around the place. So she ends up taking the fight to a certain room with a certain other variant. Yeah, audience, y'all like Goose the cat? Well, yeah, it turns out there's a universe where he's a black cat. And yeah, that cat ends up eating Nightmare. So, yay. All goes well and the day is saved, but that just leaves Wanda left. What do we do with her? Obviously, anybody who has a sane mind with common sense would say, lock her up. Like, dude, you cannot justify to me that there's a reason why we should let this woman go out running about doing whatever she wants after what happened in Doctor Strange 2,
Well,
But
locking her up. She's learned her lesson. Oh my god, bro!
I don't want to run the risk of that, man. Like,
She's learned her lesson. You're so harsh. Oh my gosh.
What's going to happen if she breaks a mind? If something else happens to her and she goes ballistic on the multiverse,
Then we'll get Doctor Strange to fix it, like he did before.
Oh yeah, like Doctor Strange really had it all under control when he dealt with her in his movie, right?
I'm just saying he won. So like,
yeah. And how many of his students got slaughtered in the process, Jake?
Their sacrifices were for the greater good. Okay.
Oh my god, the slaughtering that went on in Doctor Strange's group.
Traumatized, you mean?
Yeah. So anyway, Spider-Gwen is really thinking about this. We don't want to be like the old TVA. We don't want to be like, the ones that will lock people up and put them in basically ice chambers, So Wanda, this is basically redoing that WandaVision ending where they're like, they will never understand what you gave up for them, so you could leave.
Yes,
Really,
that's okay.
dude, are you serious? Like Wanda even said, "I'm not gonna be a hero. I'm not gonna be a villain. So, I'm just gonna do my own thing."
Yeah.
So she
Crypto, what do you
teleports
have
out.
a problem with? Why are you being so sexist to Scarlet Witch?
Dude, no, I'm concerned about. I'm worried about an end of the world sort of threat, and that's what Scarlet Witch is. Oh, I'm sorry, Jake. Who's known for wiping out a whole group of people in comics? Exactly. Yeah.
Reed Richards, but we don't talk about
Everybody brings that up with Wanda, though. But audience. So even though MCU Wanda's dead, there is a version of her that's out in the multiverse. Who knows when she's going to pop up? And as for the TVA, you have some undercover moles in the group who are looking to just get more of the dark stuff that they've been hiding over the millennium. So, yeah, audience, that's it for the TVA. If you like the characters from the shows, you will like this. So, yeah, go for it. All right. And that's our last book of the night, audience.
But we had a fun time. We had fun experiences. But I guess in the end, you could say it doesn't matter. You could say Richard.
Bro, I just read this one, the Mangaverse Ghost Rider book, and oh my god, I could not tell you what the fuck I just read. What the hell was that? That's an official Marvel licensed
But if
book.
you want to know what Rich just read, you could read it up for yourself at your local comic book store. Or
no, don't buy this book. What the fuck was that?
Or you can read it. You can buy it online, or go to those little special sites that we don't like to talk about.
If you want to suffer, it's called Marvel Mangaverse Ghost Riders Volume 1 from 2002. It's a one shot.
There you go.
Yeah.
And hit me up on Twitter so we can chat about it. Because what the fuck was that book?
Sure. Anyway, guys, we'll see you. Is there a movie coming out next week? We gotta look at.
Nah, we're good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
All
You
right.
guys should go check out our Thunderbolts review.
Yay.
You should hit me up on my socials so that we can chat.
Mhm. Yay.
And never forget, the devil may be quick, but Sam Wilson is quicker. You will get his copyright. All right.
All right.
We'll see you guys
See y'all
next.
later.